Who do narcissists hate? They hate people that are fighters. They hate people that stand up for themselves. They hate people that call them out or call anything they do out, okay? And what are they going to try to do? They're going to try to character assassinate you, all right? They're going to try to say you're crazy. They're going to go around and smear you to everybody else. Why? Because you're a threat to that narcissist. They don't like people that stand up for themselves. They're going to call you angry. That's what they're going to do, to try to gaslight you and gaslight everybody else to think that you have problems. But the real issue is that that narcissist doesn't like people that are fighters, because a fighter is going to expose the narcissist. And this is one of their biggest fears, to be exposed for the toxic individual they are. Because a narcissist is, very consumed with their image. They're always worried about what people think about them.
What lies beneath your feet? Sacred grounds, watered with tears of blood. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
I muted myself. And hail the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you, all my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Oh man, if I had a couple days, I don't know if I want to get into it. I don't know if I'm gonna. If you looked at the last short, you understand. If you go to Instagram, I continued that because narcissists project themselves upon you, and just like Yaz said with that opening that opening video, they don't like fighters. Narcissists don't like fighters. They don't like people who stand up for themselves. They don't like people who will not take their shit. They don't like people who have strong boundaries, who refuse to be manipulated, who can see right through them. They most especially hate us narc slayers out here because we see them, we know them. And if you know how to manipulate a narc, trust and believe, you can make them pull your legacy cart. You can hitch them up to the wagon and let them pull. Narcissists can't help themselves. They're addictive personalities. They are pitiful people. They are people who decided a long time ago not to heal themselves, but instead create a narcissistic shell that is fed on other people, draining other people, smearing other people, projecting themselves, lying, being a con artist. And this is what we stand up against here at Dragonstorm. Hail to all my fellow survivors and thrivers. Thank you so much for being here. I got to Keely Chow. Been my supporter for several years. Keely, supporter of author Stephen Walden and Lodonis Dragonstorm. Thank you so very much. Message of the narcissists in Hollywood who are ruining stuff we like and love. We do not kneel. No, we do not kneel. And it is amazing. Keely will understand this, and so will there be rogues here, Rogue Entertainment's own Bad Take Tina Bojan, that we have for several years, whether we would call the Fandom Menace and what we're the Fellowship and everything after that. We have been fighting narcs and psychos in Hollywood, projecting their isms and phobes upon us, using our modern mythologies as platforms to smear campaign us, to devalue us. And then when fans have a problem with their modern myths being used in this way, what are we? We're bigots, we're racists, we're homophobic, we're transphobic, we're all these things. You got to be careful, guys. And once you go through narc abuse, you can see them. I don't even have to tell half of you. Watch your politicians. Watch these freaking actors, these producers, these people in the music industry. Narcissists, psychos, psychopaths. That's what they are. So support independent creators out there. And speaking of independent creators, I would like to introduce my co-host, the beautiful, the wonderful, the biblical, Scott Clarke. What is going on, my brother?
Hey, man, did you say beautiful?
I said beautiful. You're gorgeous.
Beautifully biblical. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, yeah, beautifully. Absolutely. Scott, why don't you tell everybody out there what it is you do and your channel?
So I have a channel under my name, and I've been pretty much for the last 16 years doing, I have a couple channels. I have one channel that I've been putting some things up about narcissistic abuse. But we're a little more focused here on Dragonstorm with that. But I have another channel that I've been doing Bible studies and just sort of deciphering the truth about what's really going on with this big book. And it's really interesting because I was just telling Stephen about some things that seem to be coming to pass shortly, especially with this election year, and that we're getting very close to 2,000 years from Jesus Christ's death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. When he left, he went back to sit at the right hand of his Father. But he said that he would be returning in 2 days, which to him, a day is 1,000 years. And we're about right there. About 2031 would be his return. But it says that in the 7 years leading up to that return, things are going to get crazy. And so I think literally we're watching this summer what is about to take place. The deep state, these psychopaths, these narcissists who run the world do not want him taking the presidency of the United States, because if the free world drops or falls, the whole earth falls. And literally this nation is the last stance of freedom. And if it falls, then this satanic new world order that has formed around us, it's been closing in. And I think we're like literally in biblical times. And that was a long introduction for, well, Scott, what do you do? I think of that. That's what I do. I think of that. That's what I do. And then it comes out my mouth.
No, it is so very interesting and in-depth. And guys, if you are not subscribed to either of Scott's channels, please subscribe to them. the way that you interpret the Bible is in a way that I have never heard, and I'm very happy to have a friend like you to enlighten me insofar as biblical timelines, scriptures, your interpretation of them, or what you believe the true interpretations of them are, because it's really given me a new respect, a new understanding for those teachings, and I appreciate you for that, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah. If I could, I would actually, just before we get into some
Sure.
stuff, I wanted to, let me just share something here. And like I'm not like your typical Christian that believes that when you die, if you're good with God, you go to heaven, and if you're bad, you burn forever, and that's it. You can't get out, and you're just stuck. I think that right there is an idea from a psychopath. I literally think that's an idea from a psychopath.
Yeah, that sounds like it. All right.
I mean, like, who would come up with that idea to burn humans forever for like, I mean, even just like in our local state or county, they have to match the punishment with the crime.
Right.
Otherwise you're an evil, you're just, that's not justice. So like, what crime did anybody do to deserve an eternity burning in hell, in eternal conscious torment? I think that whole idea, and this is why I'm like, in a lot of ways, I'm very much anti-Christianity, but for the right reasons. I'm anti this establishment system that I believe is a control system. I believe the Bible's true. I believe the God of the Bible is true. The God of Israel and his son died and was resurrected. I believe all that. I just believe that the way that they've created, in modern Christianity, I believe that the way that they've created this whole system is it's a fallacy. I just believe it's a fallacy. And let me show you this. If you make me full screen real quick.
Sure, buddy.
This right here, this is what I believe is a lie. And that is that, let me see, where's my cursor? Like that you're born over here, and then you're told by the Christians, you better get saved before you die. And you're like, what does that mean? How am I supposed to save myself? What are you talking about? And so this guy's going, okay, I repent already. Am I saved yet? Jeez.
Right.
And then, so the big threat is this: you better get saved before you die, or you'll burn forever. Love Christianity.
Scott, I love you, dude.
But it's true.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? You talk about like, right? So Jesus is told you love thy neighbor. Be good to each other.
Right. The God,
and you. Go ahead, brother.
So, let me just finish up real quick. So this guy's going,
sure.
The Christians are saying, you got to repent. You got to repent. So this guy's like, okay, I repent already. Am I saved yet? Jeez. And then he gets old and he's like, crap, I still don't know if I'm saved. And then he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the big problem. The big God is going to judge you, whether you're good or you're bad. And if you're good, then this is what your fate is. You're going to sit on cloud 9, and they're going to give you a harp, and you're going to play the harp, and you're going to sing hallelujah. You're going to get a halo, and they're going to give you some wings. And then you just kind of endlessly sit up here on a cloud. And that's all. The Bible doesn't really say much about this. It's just this. Right. And that, or if you fall from God's graces, and you didn't get saved before you die, this is it. And then you sit there and you're like, what the hell did I do to deserve this? This is insane. And so this is this narrative that Christianity pushes, and I just completely disagree with it. And so I'm not, yes, I love the Bible. I teach the Bible. I study the Bible, but I don't agree with the fear tactics that they've pushed all on us. And I actually could show, might do it another time, but I could, because it'll get into like this big study, but I understand. I believe the Bible talks about he's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. The Bible also talks about that when you die, your soul literally, your body goes into the grave. Dust turns to dust. As we all know, the only thing that is the remains after years is bones. Bones don't turn to dust, but the rest of your flesh is gone. including your mind, your brain, everything's gone, but your soul goes into the grave. And then the Bible there's so many scriptures about this that Christianity doesn't teach. It talks about resurrection from the dead, that your soul is going to come out of the grave, but it's going to go into a new body. It's kind of like reincarnation, but it's into the next humanity. And it's the same humanity that Jesus came out of the tomb with. When he came out of the grave, he went into a body that was immortal. And he went up to his Father for a couple of days, which is 2,000 years, and he's going to come back. But that's this new body, which is called the body of Christ. It's an immortal body. Like right now, you and I, we're in the body of Adam. That's what this stuff is. It's the body of Adam. Our DNA goes all the way back to that. But there's this new resurrected immortal body that Jesus has set the precedent for. And he said that and that's what's called the new man. We're in the old man, and there's a new man coming, and he's going to make a new heaven, and he's going to make a new earth, and we're going to live on that new earth. The Bible does not say that we go to live in heaven, but it also does not say that we go burn forever either. And so Christianity's got all this stuff that it's like, I don't believe half of it's true. I believe the Bible's true, but I believe that the narrative, that the twist is just false. And so that's a introduction about what is on my mind and what I talk about. And so I do these graphics and I show this stuff on the screen, and I do my own live streams and whatnot. And that's what I do. Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, if you are
highly narcissistic, all of this, it's like wrapped up. It actually plugs into what Dragonstorm is doing, because the system is corrupt. The system is narcissistic. And when we've talked about the spiritual aspect of it, this system is demonic. So
yeah, it is. It's spiritual warfare. And narcissists, psychopaths of the past would absolutely take. I mean, look at what they do. Like you talk about spiritual narcissism. Politicians, people who put themselves in positions of, charity work or so forth. They take this image of being a good person, and they're actually like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that thing to control, to smear, to cause fear, to have control over others. And so, I mean, it's just a natural assumption, I think, that you would understand that narcissists and psychos from the past would take something like a pure text like that and then pervert it and use it to control a population, to cause fear in them. If you don't listen to us and give us the money, then you're going to go burn forever. I mean, just the idea of absolution, and these things. I think that it's a personal relationship.
It scares people into church, and then they get addicted to it. And there's no solution. There's no solution unless you figure out that this whole thing is a fraud. And the word hell in the Bible, remember, we're not reading Hebrew and Greek here the way it was originally written. We're reading English, which is a translation. And the King James guys over in Europe there, there was some political stuff going on with this translation. And what they did was they translated this word Hell, which has 3 different meanings. The primary meaning is the grave. 6 feet under with dirt on top. That's literally what the grave, or what hell is. When Jesus talks about death and hell, he's talking about death in the grave.
Gross misinterpretations, man. It's all about. Yeah. I want to say hi to the chat real quick. Of course, I said hi to Kale the Keely Chow. Thank you so much for being here. Josh is in the chat. What is going up, Josh? Good to see you. Our overseas audience, Ruth. How you doing, Ruth? Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you being here, baby. You ain't going back, right? You ain't going back. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Bad Take Tina Bojan, Rogue Entertainment's own wonderful lady of Rogue. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. At some point, I want to get all the Rogues together. I want to get both the Dragonstorm and author Stephen Walton teams together and just do a stream. I think we'd have a lot to talk about. MC Mike Does is in the chat. What is up, Mike? Good to see you, brother. What is Iman's got another name? He's Harry Skidmark. I mean, okay, Iman. See, you're feeling your oats today, huh? Dude, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by Rogue the other day. That was our Rogue Entertainment on author Stephen Walton. We had a lot of fun there.
The whole world is losing. The whole world is losing the plot at the moment. Something lurking. He's right.
Yeah, I mean, and you were talking about that in your in what you were showing me before the show. It's. Look, if a threat of World War III, listen, though, the threat of what WWE happens, like legit happens soon. I'm running with Scott. You're gonna see me on Scott's channel. I'm done. I'm going with him because he called it. He is calling it out there.
You want me to show that video I made of Trump? I've got it.
I mean, if you want to show it, go right ahead. Let's see. Yeah, before we start up, let's do that. And I just want to say hi to Dante real quick and Deej Odyssey. Hey, Bowser. Why call me Bowser? I got sleeves all today. Rogue Entertainment's own Deej Odyssey over from the author Stephen Walton team. Thank you so much for being here, Deej. Good to see you. Thank you so much. If World War III happens, we won't have the internet. Ain't that the... Yeah, I guess you're right. All right. DJ's going to like this. I know he will. Do you want to put your full screen?
Yeah. It's
right.
just this just a little bit of awareness about what I did was I took a bunch of clips of Donald Trump's and some of his recent speeches from last year and this year and what he's been saying about what's coming because of this election year and because we have, you know, basically the Illuminati, the deep state, all this secret societies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know about, a lot of people are awake to, but some still don't. Yeah, we're running into some very crazy times, and so here's a clip.
Our country is right now in the most dangerous position it's ever been in. We have a lot of bad things coming up. I'm the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III, and that's where you're headed. You're headed to World War III. We're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it. They're not respected. All over the world, they're laughed at. But I'm the only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and I will do something that nobody else will be able to do because we're closer than ever. You see that today? I will prevent World War III. I will prevent it. I will prevent it. Not going to happen. And I will be doing something that nobody else even talks about. We have never been so close. I will prevent World War III. We're heading to World War III. We're heading right into the teeth of it. And we're much closer than you think right now to having it, because we have stupid people representing us. And before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I will restore peace through strength. That's what I did. We had no wars. I will restore peace through strength. That's what we had. We didn't have to fight. Think of it. No wars during the Trump administration. And I will prevent, and I'm the only one that's going to do it, 100% will prevent World War III, which is very close to happening. And at some point it will happen. It will happen. I will prevent it. I'm the only one that can say it. I know them all. I know how to deal with them. I deal with them. I'll get that done within 24 hours. Everyone says, oh, no, you can't. Absolutely I can. Absolutely I can. I will get it done. I will get it done. This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. And we will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will defeat crooked Joe Biden. We will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
All right. Yeah. So there it is. That's,
All right. Wait.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Yeah. So that's a number of clips that I took from his speeches. That's what he's been saying, repeating it over and over and over. And I'm not sure people have been catching it. So I decided to catch it and throw them all together. And that's why the political situation is getting crazy. That's why he was almost, he had a bullet fly by his ear. This is
That's why the coup, and all of a sudden ballots just came out of nowhere and people weren't allowed to be counting in 2020. Yeah.
I don't think they're done trying to get rid of him either.
No. Real quick, I want to say hail to Roman. If you have time, brother, there's another narcissistic abuse survivor and member of Rogue Entertainment. Good to see you, brother. And it's crazy to one of the things when we're going to start covering Yaz here in a moment. When I went through what I was going through, I had certain people who had been through or dealt with narcissists in the past and understood it, and were like my friends on the periphery. You know, they knew they couldn't help me at the time, but they were always there for me. And one of them is going to join us tonight on the panel. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the most authentic, best people, someone who's familiar with narcissism, my friend Deej Odyssey. What's up, DJ?
Yes, I deal with myself every day.
How are you doing, sir? It's good to see you.
I'm doing good. How are both of you gentlemen this evening?
We're doing well. I'm glad that you're here. Scott, this is Deej, Scott, both members of Rogue. It's good to finally get you guys on the same panel.
Hey, Deej, how are you?
How you doing, Scott? All right, so what are we doing tonight?
All right, tonight we are covering
The
Game Exposed, who is someone that I have been following since the beginning. She has been a guiding light for me. She's been a source of strength. She is one of the ladies out there that I have followed that like gave me that fire. I mean, part of Dragonstorm, part of my attitude really comes from Yaz and the way that she presents information and stands up for narc abuse victims, educates, and also tells narcs about themselves. She's a narc slayer, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to covering her tonight. Scott, have you ever watched The Game Exposed?
Yeah, she's been part of my journey. Once I figured out what narcissism actually was, and I started. This was actually one of the. Let me show you this real quick.
All right.
Right here. I saw this. It's crazy how you never even knew anything about red flags, boundaries, or what a narcissist even was until that one person.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth, brother?
And so when that happened to me, I started to follow certain people, and Yaz was one of them. And that was been about 2.5 years ago.
I understand that. Deej, I know you don't normally run in these circles, but are you familiar with The Game Exposed?
No, I am not. I'm not familiar, but I will get myself familiar because you told me to.
All right,
You're the
sounds
boss.
good.
You're the boss until I
well,
take over. But
until you, yeah, Scotty,
stream.
I gotta. Yeah, okay, all right. Deej is trying to enact the 25th and trying to take over Rogue, so it's a thing. All right, guys. Without further ado, let us get on and check out. So actually, just her latest video, which is something that I love. Nobody loves the bathroom more than a narcissist who's got to check in.
Oh.
Nobody loves the bathroom more than a narcissist who's got to check in with their other supply. And this is what they do, you guys. Or they go to the bathroom all the time because they got to stare at themselves in the bathroom. But don't come back at me and say, well, I use the bathroom a lot. Does that make me a narcissist? No, it doesn't make you a narcissist. But I'm letting you know, narcissists run to the bathroom all the time with their phone, of course, okay? They'll always have their phone. Anytime a narcissist will leave their phone is when they've erased everything off it. But narcissists love to go to the bathroom because that's their escape from you in order to text the other supply. Nobody.
And I have, I've begun, thankfully, I've begun talking to people, coaching them, and this is a running theme. It's not just information I heard from Yaz and other narc abuse coaches. The narcissist phone is their holy grail. And if you go near it, they are going to go into rage. They are going to freak out. They do not want you seeing any of the smut, any of the other supplies that they're talking to, the people they're cheating on you with, they're grooming for supply. They will isolate. I mean, this is another reason why a narcissist loves long distance relationships, because you can't see what they're doing, but absolutely in the bathroom for hours. Narc X would go in the bathroom for 40 minutes. Don't know what's going on in there. In there talking to other supplies. It's something that I've just seen as a very common theme, and as far as narcissists hiding who they are, what they're doing, but that phone, man, if you to go near their phone, that's it. They're going to snap out on you. They do not want you seeing all of the evidence inside that phone. I mean, Scotty, how do you feel about this topic?
You know, I'm while we're talking about this, I'm trying to go back into my memory, and either I was just kind of blind to it, or I just didn't see that so much. But I'm not coming against that idea. I mean, it makes complete sense. I think I was just I was unaware of a lot of things, and also that at the end, how everything sort of really just fell apart so quickly. It puts you in a state of trauma that you start missing time. There are things that you just don't recall, you know. For me anyway, I know that there's
Well,
things that I maybe should have picked up on that I didn't, but
we all go.
sense.
I mean, it really all depends, like on the type of narcissist. You know, like I think that a cerebral, someone who isn't sleeping around, is probably they're still worried about that, but they're less worried about it. And when you're in a trusting relationship with somebody, like what's the first thing you think? Like you don't want to invade their privacy. Like I always had to think about going into even if I'm with a woman and they tell me get my purse or go to my purse, I don't want to go in there.
Right.
You know, like I like those boundaries. You know, so like when you were in your situation, you made, you know, you're a good-hearted person. You're projecting that good heart. You're not suspecting anything. You're not thinking that they're going to be doing anything dirty on you.
I
You
had
may
no
not
idea
have.
what was going on, but I expected that there was a mutual understanding of trust.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't suspect anything. I was 100% trusting. I mean, weird stuff was happening, but I put trust on top of everything. Just naturally how I operated, and I got, you know, massively taken advantage of because of that. But you know, that's just
They,
like
they take
the
yeah,
empath
they take
just
advantage of trusting.
trust. Yeah.
Yeah, they take advantage of that trusting nature. I know, DJ, I know you've been through some tumultuous relationships. I mean, have you ever dealt with a woman who did not want you going through her phone, didn't want you seeing who she was talking to, or so forth?
Well, hell, that last one I was with that I lost everything over. She was that way.
Hmm.
And I trusted her way too damn much, and look what it turned out for me. I lost my house. I lost everything because of her.
Mm. Hmm.
But that'll
Yeah,
never happen again.
learn your lessons, right? You know, and understand that. So, I mean, like, Deej, what is it?
Yeah. I
Go ahead,
learned my
bro.
lesson. I'm not going to date ever again. Screw it. I don't trust any of them no more. I went the extreme.
No, what you just want to pick up the toxic one and just leave her back at the bar? Like,
I don't even want that anymore. I just stick to myself, but the hell with it.
I mean, it's a shame. I talk to people, Deej, that have that mentality, and I completely understand that when you go through a relationship with someone who is toxic and does that, takes everything from you, and you know, sequesters your manhood or your womanhood, for those of you ladies out there. It's hard to want to pick up and trust somebody again. It is so difficult to want to put yourself out there again because you feel like, you know, your heart's not reflected. You know, you're not appreciated for who you are. And I think that a lot of us who have attracted through our lives toxic relationships, I know that I have. It's difficult. You have this history behind you of someone who's cheated on you, people who have left you, people who have, like, you know, just destroyed your self-worth. And trying to recover from that, it takes a lot of isolation, a lot of internal work in order to pick yourself back up. But to even want to try again, like, I mean, Deej, how long has it been for you? And like, how long have you been healing from that relationship?
Let's see. That's like 3 years ago now.
It's 3
I'm
years
too old
ago.
for
And
this shit. I'm too old for this shit anymore.
Man, Scotty, how do you feel? Do you think that dating, what do you think about dating after narc abuse? What's that journey for you like?
Haven't thought about it much.
Mhm.
My trust has been absolutely, like, I understand Deej completely. I think Deej and I are more on the same page. Once you've had your trust completely obliterated, you don't look at anything the same anymore. And the last thing you're going to do, if you can control, like, I can control myself, and I'd rather have this peace than like step out on a limb again, because last time I was on a limb, the very person that I thought would hold me up was sawing off the branch. So it's like, yeah, it's just hard to trust. It's really hard to trust.
Roman of the Empire, he says, I don't have anything to add to the narchold stuff, or dating narchold stuff to this. Mrs. of the Empire is gold. 35 years this year. Congratulations, Roman. That's beautiful. Wonderful. She said, the psycho I dealt with was family. And it's I mean, imagine, you know, someone like Roman, if you've got time, Lincoln Dragon Corps, someone who, you know, had a narcissistic family member, someone they looked up to, someone that raised them, and how predisposed one can be to having not only cluster B tendencies, but also being predisposed to being a victim of being targeted by a narcissistic or a psycho or a sociopath in a relationship. It's a lot of damage that needs to be untangled whenever we go through these situations and deal with them, especially for those of you like Roman, like Bad Take Tina Bojan, who were raised by narcissists. You know, recovering your worth from that is a lifelong journey. And, you know, I'm not dismissing anyone's severity, but if you don't know, you know, for those of us who you just get into these relationships with narcissists and you just don't know, you never dealt with it or didn't understand you did, it can shatter your mind. You don't know how to recover, you know, especially if it's over and over again. Thank you guys for sharing that. Let me see if anybody in the chat has anything to say. Zero Gifts says best case scenario is to stimulate your mind as little as possible because their goal is to wear you out. Instead of using off time to do anything, just try not to think. Just try to think about nothing. That you're talking about empty your mind, right? Find inner peace. Finding inner peace. I understand, Zero. All right, let's move on to the next video. Oops, wait. I'm clicking all over I gotta get a mouse. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Our next video, a narcissist is a bully.
Understand this. A narcissist is nothing but a basic bully, okay? Whether you're dealing with an overt or a covert narcissist, they're bullies, okay? Overt narcissist is going to bully you verbally, all right? And a covert narcissist is going to bully you silently, all right? But you're dealing with a basic bully who really is a coward, okay? A bully is a coward. So stop being afraid of them. This is why they got to put you down, because of their insecurities. They're going to try to project all that insecurity onto you and make you afraid, okay? So understand, you're dealing with somebody who's trying to bully you because they're insecure and they want to feel superior to you. That's why when you challenge them, they can't take it, all right? They're going to run. They're going to call you crazy and they're going to run.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, my narc-slaying sister. Narcissists are cowards. The only reason that they do what they do is because they are broken inside. They have a fractured core. They create a false self. They create an amalgamation of fake faces that they groom from other people, that they grow on them in order to use to fake you to be fake, and then drain you of your energy, take your money, take your manhood, take your womanhood, relieve you of all of your confidence within yourself. They're cowards. They're not straight up. They're not up the gut. Doesn't matter if they're overt or covert. Just like Yaz says, I love Yaz. I mean, Deej, what is it like to deal with someone who is a bully in a relationship? Like how do you come to terms with that, sir?
Well, you kind of get a little ticked off inside, and it builds up until you let them have it.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't want to know how I let the ex have it.
I mean, you're welcome to go into whatever you'd like to go into, but like, how do you?
Basically, when I was moving out and everything else, I just straight out looked at her and said, every time we had sex, I was thinking of your sister.
Ah! You see that narc slaying shit he just pulled? That's how you treat a bully. You punch him in the nose. What do you do when a bully comes at you in the schoolyard? You punch him in the nose. Now, granted, there are differences when you're dealing with a psychopath, a malignant narcissist. Protect yourself, set up cameras, make sure that you have evidence, make sure you're protecting yourself, use the law if you have to. Hopefully there's no narcs running your local police station. But at the end of the day, these narcissists are cowards. When you come at them in public, if they're covert, you come at them in public. They don't want to be exposed. That's why narcs don't really want to go to court. They never want to be held accountable anyway, but they don't want to go to court because if you bring them to court, then that will expose them for who they are. Overts think that they're tough, they're grandiose, they're the bestest ever. Everybody wants to be me. No, they don't. And when you come in overt, you do exactly what Deej just did. You do exactly what he did. You devalue you back. These bullies are cowards. Scotty, what is it like dealing with a bully narcissist?
Yeah, they're just it's hard to put my finger on it. It's just everything is just completely unnecessary. The way that they treat you, it's just unnecessary, and it's like it all just goes back to their insecurities, and it's just that they didn't get the love that they needed when they were young, and just the whole concept of a bully, just like it eludes me. Like, why would you treat somebody that way? And but they do, and I've been bullied too. Mine was covert bullying. It wasn't, well, and then there's somebody else who's an overt bully that I have I'm aware of, that's affected me. But it's just they're just like little kids. They're just like little babies that they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to just communicate like an adult. And so they pull stuff, they cause problems, and a lot of times they cause problems that you can't fix. They create permanent damage to relationships, and then they try to act tough. And the reality is that it's kind of like a shark. If a shark comes at you, have you ever seen somebody do this, like a scuba diver? You hit him in the nose, the shark's out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that. Bullies, they crumble if you just stand up to them. They do, like you said earlier. They don't like strong people. They don't like people standing up to them, and that's why when you become aware, when you have your self-awareness, you realize what happened to you, and you learn about narcissism, and then you realize, okay, this is what this is, and that is who that person is. And once they know that you know, they'll probably fight for a little while, and then they just sort of disappear. Because they know that you know, and they know that you can prepare to expose them if necessary.
Exactly, Scotty. Exactly. Let's talk backstage. Let's talk backstage about our mutual friend. And asking the question, why are they the way they are? How do you deal with these bullies? I'd like to introduce Rogue Entertainment's own Roman of the Empire. I believe that he can answer that question for us. What's up, Roman?
Hello, and thank you. Thank you for letting me in. Appreciate it, Scotty. Good to see you again, my friend. DJ Odyssey. I don't know that I have been on with you before, but it's nice to meet you. And Steven, as always, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for getting this stuff out there, for exposing the crazy folks, because I'm going to keep it in the PG realm because it's not my show. For what they are, because they are horrible. And it's so it's got they're so bizarre. Their behavior doesn't make sense because it's not logical behavior.
Yeah.
So you can't look at it. And I think we talked about this before. You can't look at things that they do from the perspective of a regular person because it won't make sense, because it can't. Because normal people, normal humans don't interact that way. They have, because I have my personal experience with this. Then I have and Steven, you're aware of the other thing that's going on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost an insect-like view of the world. They don't look at people as people. They look at them as another part of a thing that they can use. They don't have emotions in the way that we have emotions because they can't. They're emotionally void. Even their anger is a manufactured emotion. It's a representation of something they've seen. That's what they do. They mimic reality and get this strange, and I can't describe what they feel because I myself don't, pleasure for in whatever way they feel such a thing from the pain of others. Again, none of this is logical. None of it makes sense because it can't make sense. Why would someone treat someone badly? No, there's no reason to. If they've wronged you, sure, but just on a day-to-day basis, just to build them up so that they can go, huh, look at you down there below me thing.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me
in. Harry says mental gymnastics, Roman.
Yeah, no, it's no lie. It's no lie. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard for the victim to get it too, because when I grew up with it. So my experience was different as a kid because it was like my life. People who wander into it as adults, that's a whole different critter. You've been living your life just going about, going to the store, working your job, doing your thing. You get into a relationship with someone, and then it's like, oh, this is because they do the honeypot thing. They lure you in, and this is the experience that I know from a good friend of mine who I'm very close to, and I can't expose a whole lot about that, but they lure you in with the honeypot, and then they break the honeypot and set it on fire and everything along with it.
Yes, sir. Josh says, I've been dealing with these idiots monitoring me 24/7 for years. The Hoovers are incessant, Josh, and there's different steps you can take. Check out my Gray Rocking and Marry the Narcs videos if they may apply. But just understand the power that you have when they have to Hoover you, when they have to watch everything that you do, when they have to monitor you, the power you have over them. It's unbelievable. As grandiose as these people try to make themselves, they are very weak inside. They need your energy in order to sustain themselves. We're going to move on to the next video. Have a good discussion off this one. Why does a narcissist argue all the time?
Okay, I was asked, why does the narcissist keep arguing with her? A narcissist is going to argue for a couple of different reasons, all right? She said they're arguing over nothing. He just argues over anything. He's arguing with you because he's basically disgusted. He's unhappy with his life. He's seeing certain things he doesn't like in you. And by arguing with you, it makes him feel better to put you down. It lifts him up. That's one reason. Another reason a narcissist may argue with you is because they're seeing somebody else, okay? This is how a lot of narcissists get out. They fight with you. It gives them a reason to walk out the door and go be with the other supply. And you're left standing there saying, what did I say? Okay? It's not that you did anything wrong. It's that the narcissist is just looking for a way to get out of the house to go see that other supply. And then later they justify it because they start a fight with you and blame you for the fight. Okay? Because if you speak up or say something. Okay, I was at.
So I actually have two ways of looking at this because I did grow up with a narcissistic father, and I didn't realize that until I educated myself and found out more about myself. And I've been in a relationship with a narcissist. So I actually look to bounce off Roman first off. I noticed in my childhood that I would get into conflicts. My father would get into conflicts with me whenever I succeeded. When I had something that I was looking forward to doing or succeeding in, he would always give me the sour Sally treatment. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, just be prepared to fail. Don't expect it to pan out. And then if I actually achieved those things, he would get very upset, but he wouldn't take it directly out on me. He would take it out on mom or a family member. It wasn't a direct assault. Did you have any experience like that with your parentage?
Yeah, well, for me, it's so yes, but different. What it ended up being with us was a total disruption of whatever was going on. They had to make the old bat had to make herself the center of whatever was happening. So if something good was happening to someone else, she had to rise and make herself. When I say rise, I mean create some kerfuffle that would put her at the center of attention. You couldn't be the center of attention. No one else could be the center of attention. The bat had to be the center of attention. So similar, but not same.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I guess the difference in like the female and male narcissists, they kind of operate differently, but the
True.
same.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, like,
you never just have peace. You know, like it's laughable. It really is laughable. Like you're thinking you can hang out with this person, and you're thinking they would be normal, and they'll just be in the moment, but instead they're causing problems.
Yeah.
And like I remember I took my narc to the gym, and she started to try to like meet people, and it's like, this is my world. This was during a Hoover stage, and like I had moved away, and she came out to, and she's like trying to like get phone numbers from people, like literally in a town she's not from. Like, what are you? Just be a guest right now. Why are you involved? What is this? What are you doing? And it was because I think she wanted to find someone at my gym so that they could keep an eye on me and this whole thing. And it's like, And so
that's the first thing I was thinking when you said that, when she's looking for flying monkeys. She's looking for people around you that she can control. Or and start smear campaigning you at home. Like I was talking to this one lady, this one client, and she was talking about how she's been in a long-term relationship. She actually got divorced from the narc. There was a period of grace between them, like, distance. And then the narc hoovered back and they're married again, but she's at the end of it. She's like, I can't anymore with this. I'm done with it. And this narcissist, when they first got divorced, moved into a house across the street. And then during the second marriage, as she said, she could already see it, he doesn't live there, but he comes over and does the yard work and stuff like that, acts like the good husband. And she said that my neighbors are starting to look at me different. I can see it coming. He's coming over there, putting on this false face, and then he's convincing everyone around her that she's the problem. And so, this is what they do. They want to condition the environment so that you're the bad guy. They're the center of attention.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting the adulation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now,
DJ,
my narc did the opposite. I took my narcissist to my 30th class reunion. She did the complete opposite. I tried to include her and introduce her to stuff, and she wanted to ignore everyone just so she had that argument when we left that I spent too much time talking to people I hadn't seen in 20 and 30 years.
She wanted to ruin it for you. That was the goal of that. She wanted to ruin it for you. That was it. She wanted to take away something that was yours and lay it to waste. That's classic, man. That's horrible, but it's classic.
Well, she didn't get by with it. She didn't get by with it because I was drinking my favorite little drink that night, and I really didn't care what she thought. And Mr. Fireball just don't care.
And it's amazing. Like the tactics may change, but the reasoning is always the same. Grandiosity, center of attention. I need to be the center of attention. All of you are marionettes, and I need to have control. And I think, DJ, I think that one of the reasons why she did that was because these were people that you knew very well, and she couldn't smear campaign you. So the only road for her having control.
She could have never have gotten by with saying half the crap she said to other people, because they would have just laid into her too. Half of them didn't understand why the hell I was with her in the first place, but my upper brain was not thinking clearly during those times.
We don't, and sometimes when our blood is in the other head, we don't, and I completely understand that. Speaking of blood being in the other head, what's up, Zach? It's good to see you, brother.
Hello, Zach. We're not the same person, just in case you were ever worried about that. I never see them in the same place. No.
Zach, it's good to see you guys. If you're not familiar with Zach, please post a link to your channel. A wonderful person, just one of the most authentic, funny, comedic crews in all of YouTube. I love everybody over there. Lady Balefire, Abomination AJ, all of them great people. Please go check them out. Wonderful shows.
Remember, Zach, one of these could have been pre-recorded earlier and is just playing on right now. It's yeah, there's that. I gotta keep that going. You know, I can't let it go.
You got to keep him on his toes, man. You got to keep those shoulders. You got to keep those shoulders oiled and ready to go. All right, let's see. Next up, why the narcissist keeps contacting you.
Okay, somebody asked me, why does the narcissist still try to keep contacting me when they have a new supply? Why don't they just go off into the sunset, live happily ever after with the new supply? Why do they keep contacting me? Because a narcissist never wants to lose control. You are like an object to that narcissist that they just can't let go of. They hate being abandoned as well. So they want to keep trying you because first of all, they love drama, all right? And they love to keep in touch with you because they want to see if they have any control over your emotions. Will you entertain that narcissist? Will you get on the phone with that narcissist? Will you see that narcissist? And they also want to see if you'll be even a backup to the new supply. That's why a lot of these narcissists, they'll go with the new supply and then they go back to their exes, all right? So you guys, you got to let them go. No contact at all. You know, if they try to reach out to you, no response, all right? Because any response to the narcissist is feeding the narcissist and feeding their ego, that they matter, that they count. You have to show these people, once it's done, it's a wrap. They're out. They're RIP. I don't deal with you. There is no coming back. You don't have any control over me. I don't give you 1 minute of my time.
I want to give a special thank you to Yaz because that message is something that she's repeated over and over again, and it was something I needed to hear because I allowed Hoovers to happen over again. I allowed almost 17 hours away.
He wouldn't listen to the rest of us that kept telling him not to do it.
I understand, and I would let this person drive 17 hours, come down, and then start the game up again. But the truth of it is, you don't listen to them. You don't give them respect. You walk away, and that's it. You shut the door. Ignoring a narcissist, their loss of control is the greatest injury. That is, if you want revenge, that's your revenge. Living your best life and not talking to them.
100% on that. 100%. 2010 was the last actual phone conversation that I had. And that wasn't even my fault, which is the hilarious thing. So this is going to sound a little wonky, but at work, I will not take the phone from someone unless they tell me who is on the other end. I don't work anymore. I'm retired now, but this during my military years, I'm like, who's on the phone? I don't know. I'm like, I'm not taking the phone then. And unfortunately, my subordinate was just like, they were retarded. I'm like, okay, fine. And who was it? It was the crazy bat witch. And I'm like, oh no, I'm at work. I cannot have this conversation here. So it lasted a very brief amount of time, and then I ended the conversation. And that was the last time that, but like Yaz was saying, holy cats, for these many years, there has been some form of trying to find a chink in the armor to get through, to annoy, harass, whatever. Mm-hmm. When I started my YouTube channel, she got on there and said, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, really? First of all, everything you just said was wrong, which is kind of an obvious. So block. But then like 2 years ago, and I don't know if I shared this story before, I got this big package in the mail. It was this like 6 or 7 page letter from some dude who I have no idea who he is, who's a friend of hers, who's like, wow. Hey, Roman, you know, you really should try to contact your mom because blah, 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 blah. I know this and this and this. I'm like, what is this insanity? So, and this is a little bit funny. Before I finished it, I ripped it into 8 smaller parts. And then Mrs. of the Empire is like, you know, you should probably read it to see if there's anything crazy in there she's going to do. And I'm like, so I had to, like a jigsaw puzzle. I had to put it all back together so I could read the crazy. And there was nothing. It was just, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that was the last one that has come through to me. She still tries to, and I think I told you, but every time she tries my daughter She tries to attack her every way she can to try to. They got to get teeth in somehow, somewhere. But everybody knows the wall is down, nothing gets in. So
yeah,
she's 100% right.
And may I ask, like, how's your daughter dealing with that? Does she have contact, or is she gray rock?
No, oh no. And she, no, too many reasons. No. So the short answer to the question is no, she doesn't. Yes, that's my wife filter. She says she doesn't sound like that, but that's how I hear her. So, but no, she knows, and she's very good about it. She's like, hey, she tried to get in. I just blocked her, and I'm like, okay, good job, kid. Good job. So everybody in the family has got walls now. Even my poor dad. Who's the ex of many years now. She did a number on him, and I feel bad for what she did to him. Knows, because it was out of the blue. Ex-girlfriend, who I hadn't spoken to since high school, got a text from her. We're friends on Facebook because Facebook is Facebook. She's like, hey, your mom tried to contact me. I'm like, oh boy. And I'm like, what do I do? And Mr. The Empire's like, just tell her all the stuff. I'm like, okie dokie. And she's like, oh, okay, nothing. Hot grenade. No. Wall comes down again. Close all the walls. Shut all the doors. Cement over the burning nuclear pile so that nothing can get to it. So that's best advice. Cut off contact completely. And it's hard.
That is beautiful.
It can be hard. I mean, family. This is family. This is, this
right.
is the woman, the creature that birthed me. But done. It's done. I can't. No.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it is a shame. No. I understand that, because I had to gray rock my father. And it was weird. It was instinctive, Roman, because I'm kind of new to the understanding of what I grew up with, and now I understand why I went after Narcs. But I was taught love bombed evaluation and a couple other things from the relationship with him, and so. One day I was riding with him, and he just started devaluing. He started looking at things from my past that would have triggered me in the past, but I've gotten over. But they were very subtle. It was all covert. He's a covert, and it got to the point where I just put my headphones in and started listening to music. And he even tried to get over that, but I didn't let him. And then I had to gray rock him the whole time. Gave him a hug at the end and said, "I gotta go. Bye." We were in a car trapped. They always, they get you in a place where you can't get away, right? And it's been difficult for me. I'm at a point now where it's just he's pretty much already isolated within his own unit. Everybody else has moved away. I'm the closest one, and so I know how to deal with it. And I just gray rock when I have to. Fortunately, with my father, there are times he can be either good or he can be the narc. It's very back and forth. Depends on his mood. Yeah, so I deal with the way I do. DJ, what have you ever dealt with? Your narc ex. Did they try and hoover back? They try and get back into your life?
Oh, they tried, but I had some materials that she did not want public, and I just flat out told her. I said, "You try, you come at me. This goes public. Your life is over."
Do you go scorched earth approach? You're just not happy.
Oh yeah.
Fire with fire.
I'm too damn old for anything else. It's scorched earth afterwards.
In your earlier years, did you have experience with narcissist exes, and how were you then?
I had one that I kind of let back, but I did something I'm not sure if I should even admit on YouTube.
You don't have to.
Well, she came back. I had an ex that was trying to get back with me one night. She wanted me to go home with her and everything else, and I said, "Yeah, okay, $50." She wrote out a check.
Hold on,
I would cash it.
You got a narc to pay you?
I went and did the dirty deed with her, and the next morning I cashed the check and went out that night for free.
DJ, you're technically a prostitute at this point. Is what you're saying?
That's why I didn't want to admit. But I think there's enough decades now that's gone by that they can't come back and get me on it. But
Limitations.
this was the 90s. Damn it. This was the 90s when I did this.
Deej, you're one of my new favorite Narc Slayers. Scotty, what is it like having to deflect, a family, a dynamic with a narcissist when they have so many lures they can use to bring you back in? Like how hard is it to remain no contact?
My situation, I really haven't had to deal with much in the last, well, it's been like since October, probably was the last time I had contact. And things have been relatively, smooth, but I'm always ready. I know that anything could happen at any moment, and it's unfortunate you have to live like that. But
Yeah,
I know that, these people, they find other people to be busy with. And
absolutely.
there's nothing you can do about it. You have to realize that they're not really humans. You have to detach all the love that you had for this person, that the trust and the care. You thought that they were a person. You thought that they were real, that you thought that there was a soul inside that had light in it. And when you learn all of this, it's been a couple of years now for me, and you learn that these people are not humans the way that you are a human. These people are not light. These souls are untrustworthy. They're dangerous, and they don't care about you. They don't have your best interest at heart. And you have to learn, and it takes time, and it takes a lot of thinking about this. You have to detach and just say, that's not really a person that I was with. That's like that movie They Live, with the glasses. The guy would put the glasses on and he could see things, and he would take them off. You could see they're like aliens, or they're like monsters. And you have to realize that literally there's a lot of truth in these Hollywood movies that have to do with monsters and people wearing masks and vampires. And there are analogies and allegories for these personalities, I think. And so for me, I've been able to just really think about it, and you have to mourn it. You have to get over it. And then but eventually it's indifference is the pinnacle. It's indifference. Is you just have to say, that wasn't real. The whole thing was a lie. And I thought I was in love. And then you have to just start telling yourself, that wasn't love, Scott. That wasn't love. You didn't love them, because love comes back, and that was not real. So
It is. I'm coaching, like the people that I'm coaching right now. Some of them, a lot of them are still going through that. They're in the trauma bond, or they're coming through at the end of it. And what I say to them is, how do I stop loving this person? Well, first off, love yourself. And secondly, understand that you are loving your projection into someone else. They create a false facade for you to fall in love with based on your likes and your desires. And then they use that to lure you in. But it's projection. It kind of goes two ways, because we expect them to be normal human beings, especially if you haven't dealt with one before. You think they have a heart, they have empathy, there's morals. Like, you've got to see how hurt I am, and it's got to be hurting you on the inside to see that, but that's not the truth. And so, when I'm giving advice to my clients, I say, you've got to understand that they do not think like you, they do not feel like you. Their empathy is cognitive. It is not an awareness or a feeling in them. They understand how they're hurting you. They understand what it does to you. It's very sociopathic, but they themselves don't feel that. And that's how you get yourself. You've got to get yourself in that position and understanding that you're loving an image of yourself. You're loving an expectation. You're loving yourself. You're projecting yourself into that person. You're not loving a real person. And take that love back into you. Love yourself. Be a friend to yourself. You want to protect your peace. You want to. You need to go forward and move forward in your life, and you're not going to do that with an energy vampire constantly challenging your ideals, your concept of who you are. And Scotty, I have to give credit to you, because I use satanic personality disorder all the time. I use that all the time with people now. That's a wonderful way of looking at it, because everything's in reverse. Everything's a 180. The moralities, lies are the truth are lies. You know, what's real is fake, what's fake is real. Everything is in complete and opposite reverse. So that is something that I tell my clients when I'm talking to them, and it is the truth of it. They are not. They may technically be human beings, but they are not human in the way that they feel. It is complete. It's a difference, and unfortunately, it all comes from a broken interior that they refuse to fix, that they refuse to heal. Do you want to bring something up, Scotty?
Yeah, I was just looking at something here. Let me see if I can get it. That.
Yes, that's it. What a great thumbnail. That is so,
Like a doll's eyes.
Yep. It's sociopathic, man. It's
man.
It's yeah, and it's the reason why people like me, like I have to put this wall up between me and my dad, because I know at any point in time he can just turn into this person that is jealous of me and hates me and talks down to me, but does it through third parties, and wants me to not believe in myself because he never lived to his full potential. The same reason why Roman has to can't have any of it in his life and has to protect his peace. These are the extremes that we have to go to. Scott can't talk to him. DJ tells them to pay up or they got to go. Like, it depends on how you deal with it.
hey, I'll do it again too, but there'll be a couple extra zeros at the end these days.
Inflation. Very true. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Please make sure to smash that like button, share out the link, and if you would, when the conversation is over and the live stream's over, please leave a comment and let me know what you thought of the stream. Greatly appreciate you. We are going to move on now to our next video, how narcissists justify their lies.
It's not that a narcissist believes their lies. They know what a lie is because they lie to some people and they don't lie to other people. It's the fact that the narcissist justifies their lies. And what I mean by that is they justify why they do what they do. For instance, they'll say something like, well, I cheated because you were cold to me. I cheated because you worked a lot. They'll justify whatever they want to do to justify lying. They know they're lying, but they justify it and they blame shift on you and make it they had to do what they had to do. Oh, I couldn't tell you the truth because of the way you got. Not by the fact that they're doing something wrong, but they feel like, you know what, I had to lie to you. I can't talk to you because then you're going to get angry and upset and try to hold me to be accountable, and I just don't want to be accountable, so I have to lie to you.
And I will say this all the time to people, like, they know they're lying. They know what they are. They know they're lying to you. They don't care that they're lying. Their moral compass is completely skewed. Scotty, preach.
Yeah, it'll rewire your brain. I know for myself, my mind is not the same as it was before I met that person. And it was because of the lies and the gaslighting. And I was in this relationship that was just lies all the time, all the way up until the end when it all fell apart, and through the Hoover and then after the Hoover. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know when this person told me the truth. I just don't know when this person told me the truth. All these major things happened, and I realized that this person was the cause of all of them. But when I was talking to that person about these major problems that were being caused that literally can't be fixed in our lives, I realized that she would always say, oh, that's, my ex did that, or somebody else did it, or this person in the community, or that. And now you step back from it all and you go, it was all you. Everything was you. And you put it off on all these different people. And so I was thinking incorrectly. I was just constantly thinking wrong. You made me think wrong about everything. How was I supposed to make a decision about anything? Nothing was real. And the lies are just, they'll twist your brain. And I think they really start causing the neural pathways to be unplugged from a healthy.
Well, it swells your it swells your brain. Like it swells your amygdala. It swells a part of your brain. It actually creates like brain damage
Yeah.
because of all the stress that you're going through.
Yeah.
You know, the extremes of fight or flight. I mean, it's DJ, you seem to have been like really steeled yourself. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, but this is why I couldn't get into another relationship, because I could absolutely never trust another woman again, because I would never know if they were telling the truth or lies. And I just don't want to have to try to put myself out there again to trust it, because I don't. My brain is now hardwired to believe that 99.9% of women are all like this.
And that's a shame. You know, because like they're not. It's the types that we've attracted. It's the toxic.
But you got to also look at it that being my age, if they're still single, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to look at, and then you have to look at yourself saying the same thing. Unfortunately,
I already know there's plenty wrong with me. I already know there's plenty wrong with me.
Scotty.
no,
yeah, real talk.
It's like this person did something to me, and now at my age, I'm single. So like anybody could like look at me and say the same thing. Like, look at him. He's he's single at his age. What is something wrong with him? Yeah, well, there is. I got my brain twisted up and gaslit so bad that I don't trust anything anymore. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And
I know
the majority of my life, I lived in this freedom of trusting and loving people easily. And literally just in the last decade, like all that got destroyed. That sweet, trusting person that I used to be, I'm now suspicious and paranoid. What the hell? So I understand, Deej. I totally understand, Deej. I totally understand that.
Blessed. I'm glad. I look at it like narcissists are built to pass on pain. They want to pass on their trauma. They want to traumatize you. They want to pass on their insecurities. They want to destroy you. The only thing I would offer to you gentlemen is I feel the same way. And as far as like what I've been through, but I also understand that there are others that have been through this too. There are other people, like I'm coaching and talking to a lot of people. One of the women I follow on TikTok was just talking about this. She was like, and she was talking about like, I'm in my 40s. Well, why are motherfuckers still talking about body count? Bitch, I've been fucking. I can't help that I've been fucking. It says, but I've also been to some bad relationships. He goes, I'm single now. I'd like to meet somebody. Where y'all at? You know, like when we get to our age, we're not going to meet a virgin anymore. It's not happening. You know, but there are also, and you might not meet somebody. That your body count, that's out the window after 35, I think. But when you get to our age and you're trying to date, I think it's a matter of learning the lessons of what you dealt with the narc, understanding your self-worth, recognizing red flags, having strong boundaries, not tolerating any bullshit. As soon as you see something come up, that's it. I'm done. I've dated 2 women this year, and with both of those women, there was something wrong, and I said, peace. You know, like, okay, I'm done. I'm not playing games.
When we've been through all this, sometimes a red flag isn't actually a red flag. We just think it is.
Yeah,
and that's makes true. Us fight too.
That is very true. That is very true. And that's why understanding and self-mastery is so very important. Understand yourself, your own triggers, your own fears, not just what the narcissist put into you, but what made you susceptible to that in the first place. You know, like that's why, like, when I'm talking with Randy White, like he coaches about learning yourself, eating right, bettering yourself as an individual. And I like that track. That's kind of where I go with when I'm coaching. I wanted to go back for a moment and ask Roman, what is it like growing up with someone who a liar, they know they're lying and they're manipulative? How does that affect you in your development as a child?
Boy, you don't make a lot of friends. You don't make a lot of friends, which is just the sad reality of it. You're very much alone. And then when you do make friends, later on, let's call it high school, then the evil bat lady hits on your friends. It's exciting.
Oh,
Um,
shit.
yeah,
Dude, no, my
it's
dad
awesome.
did that too. My dad did that too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Roman. That's crazy.
No. I'm just saying this. So now you're as developed as you're probably going to get at this point. You've got your own quirks and your weirdness, and you've been alone for most of your childhood because you never really developed those normal friendship things because you just didn't. I mean, I don't remember having friends until I was in double digits of my life. I was by myself. And then later on high school, and then the old bat now hits on the friends. That is, well, it's uncomfortable, one. And then two, it makes you fight with your friends, her, which goes without saying. And it's just you're just happy once you can get out of the house and fly free. Scotty, when you were talking, though, all I could think of was House of Cards. Everything that they have is a House of Cards. It's built on a very flimsy foundation. It doesn't actually take much to knock it down. You just need to know it's there to do it. But when you do it, then they go all freaking, Hulk mode on you because you've now uncovered, hey, none of this stuff adds up. What's going on with this? But it made me think of that. But yeah, so growing up in that environment, it's very lonely. One, because you're isolated, and then later on, now you're exposed, and now you've created this entirely different scenario that can hurt you because you brought friends into that circle, and so it does it damage you? Yeah, obviously it's not going to not damage you, but I'm trying to think later on past that point when it became okay to normalize things again. Probably once I was out of the actual direct influence. Once I was 3,000 miles away was probably the time when I could actually be me and make friends again. Now we're not done with the story at that point, but at least the direct influence is limited.
Right. And were you at that point able to start introspecting, looking at yourself, like your own behaviors, or
yeah, no. And it was funny because I actually never really thought about how bad I was until because I was becoming the creature. Like I said, I didn't recognize that though until later. Until the catastrophic event happened. And then you look at your own life, of course, because that's what you have to do. And you're like, oh my God, I'm becoming that. I'm becoming the thing. And you try to, and it's still never fully gone, I guess. It's like an infection, but you try to pull back on it. And you're like, whoa, what am I doing? How is this actually impacting people? Because they don't think like that. They never actually think about that because they don't care. Because we talked about this, they don't think like we think. It's the insect mind. But the damaged people, you gotta just you recognize that. You go, oh my God, I'm doing the thing. I'm ignoring everybody else's needs. I'm putting everything that I think is forefront here. And then you go, oh no, stop. Pull it back.
Right.
Don't be an a-hole. Don't hurt other people because of this. So it starts. I don't know how long she was like that because I know what my memories are of it. And like I said, growing up with no friends, and then the hilarity ensued after that. So yay, it's a life damaging thing though. Ultimately,
it is. And man, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you for conveying that, sharing that. Part of my healing journey was understanding that my father passed on narcissistic rage to me. He's very emotionally unregulated. And so if one of the lessons I learned is I have to control my emotions, because if I allow myself to get too mad, there is a certain point I will get to where I just flip right into that. And as I was researching narcissistic personality disorder and reading the different things off, and I was like, you can't help you. Oh my God, I do that. Why do I do that?
And the thing that I've noticed is what I will do, what my go-to when I am in the red, I will say the meanest, most horrible thing I can.
Right,
and then it's out there. It's like, and you see the words coming out, and you're like, oh no.
Right,
And now you're doing damage control on that for the next 2 days.
Like me fantasizing about her sister.
Yes. Yes. Because because we have empathy, right? We're not narcissists, but when you have that influence, and even when you go through the trauma bond, like they spread their pain, they start turning you into them. They're freaking goblins. So they like that interaction. They want you to become like them. They want you to say those things.
Yeah,
but because we have empathy, and just like, dude, Roman, love you, bro. I get you. You see it. You're like, oh shit. No. Oh no, right. Because you're gonna feel bad. You got to pay for it. And then not only that, but it's not just like healing whatever's interaction with the person, whatever conflict, but it's in us because we're not bad people, and so you do feel bad, and you've got to deal with that without becoming depressed and collapsing into yourself and being a negative person, like and letting that become depression. It's a hell of a cycle, Roman. I understand, brother. I went through a very similar track. I really do appreciate your expressions here today because it mirrors a lot of the things that I went through, man. Thank you.
I know. And thank you.
Yeah, brother. Always. Melanie. Oh, what's up, Mel? How you doing, sweetheart? Over from Dragonstorm Instagram. Good to see you here today. She goes, I'm enjoying this so much. It's nice to hear from other people. Well, we appreciate you. Welcome to the Dragonstorm community. We are survivors and thrivers looking out for one another. We're all a little damaged. So just understand that and have fun with it. All right. It's a circus over here.
I'm not damaged anymore. I have a special super suit that protects me now.
It is a pink bunny suit. And
no. It's not the pink bunny suit. It's that one. It protects me now, damn it.
You are my greatest American hero, brother. I just wanted to say thank you. All right, guys. Next up from Yaz, the Game Exposed. I saw this one. I thought Scotty. So let's talk. Can a narcissist be saved from God?
So I had somebody get on the post and say, well, narcissists, with deliverance by God, they can, come around and be saved. But how can you have deliverance of God if this person doesn't repent? You can't, all right? Can you change the devil? You can't, all right? So you can't change a narcissist if they don't repent. So everybody that sits there and talks about, anybody could be saved with the deliverance of God. In order to have the deliverance of God, you have to be willing to repent. And that's something that a narcissist doesn't want to do.
Scotty, I know you have quite a bit to say about that, brother. Please.
I'm not gonna go into like a super theological. I could. This could be a half an hour.
I know you could.
But one of the things that I want all humans to be saved, of course, because I'm an empathetic person. The way that I'm trying to think about these people is that they were a sperm and an egg came together, and they grew inside of the mother, and then that baby came out, and that baby was innocent and had no idea what its life was going to be. And so I look at this person that was in my life, and I still have love for this person. I do. But she treats me horribly. And I have to believe, like, I try to separate this thing of like, that's a real person that their mother and father did not give them a secure attachment in their early formative years. There was a real person there, and something happened. And I don't know how the spirit ends up like a demon, but I know that I talked to a demon in my relationship. I mean, I know that a demon was like working my life, causing problems that I can't fix, ruining my life in certain ways. And I had threats. The voice changed. The eyes changed. I have like I know what happened. That was not a human that I was dealing with at this. So what happened? It was a baby that was like pure at one point, but something happened. Something entered into this person, a portal, like a gateway opened. Something came into this person, this spirit. And so I have to think that evil spirit is going to get the real judgment. And maybe the person that never really got a chance to live a normal, healthy, happy life, that person will be saved. But that person is like buried underneath some kind of demonic possession or being hosted. I don't know. But if and I don't know if this is all true and real, but I want to believe that the person, the human, the soul that did not get an opportunity to live a normal life, I want to believe that person will be saved. And the demon or demons or legion that ended up making that person its house is going to be punished. So I see two things. I see a real human in the flesh with a normal soul that was supposed to be normal, and I see demonic activity. And so I want to say this part's going to, be burned or whatever, and this is going to be saved.
Wow, that's beautiful, Scotty. That really is beautiful, man.
And therefore I can save my love. Like, you know what I mean? Therefore I can keep the empathy and not become I'm not going to become like them. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, and literally I don't want to throw the baby out. That baby was innocent. I don't want to throw that baby out. I want that baby to be that child who it was not fair came into this life, because I know I've met her parents. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. But she ended up being, what's it called? Arrested development took place. And she does not know how to treat people well. And there is also something living inside of this person, I believe, that should not be there. And so I want to separate those two things. And this needs to be punished and this needs to be saved. That's the only way that I can not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That is a hell of an empathetic way to look at it, dude. My love to you. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. If I may, from my perspective, I believe in reincarnation. So I believe we go through several incarnations, and we make choices in this life where we're a source, universe places challenges in our life for us to overcome. If we make those decisions, if we are able to overcome them, then we do. And before we come into this life, we make soul contracts with others. We make soul contracts with our parents, with the people that we meet in our lives. And so sometimes being the bastard is fulfilling that contract. I do believe that the natural world, evil has a function. Narcissists come into our lives to make us grow, to make us stronger, to show us what we do not want to be, to make us create strong boundaries, to understand that our compassion and empathy is only to be given to those who prove themselves through actions and word and deed. And that is like the function of a narcissist in my life. And the narcissist became the narcissist because they chose not to heal. They chose to create the shell, reinforce the shell. And then as they grew into adolescence, not heal themselves, but continue to become what they became, which makes them resonate in lower vibrational frequencies, which then attracts demonic spirits, which then, if they, depending on how much of a bastard they become, they're housed by demons. That soul, that spirit inside them, for me, does exist. And it will at some point move on. And when it moves on, it is going to hit that state of purity in incarnation where they have to go through a life review and look back and say, what did you do? What did you go through? Why did you hurt these people? What can you do differently? And then moving on into the next life. That's how I see it. So much in the way that you look at it, I knew the family of Narc X, and what Narc X is that she's a victim. Yeah. Absolutely, of some horrible shit that happened to her when she was a kid, the way that she was treated and the way that the environment that she was in. But she made the choice at a certain point in her development not to heal, not to let that out, to become a better person. She chose to live in the past and live with that pain and not heal it and create that false facade. And there's nothing I could do for that. That's a choice. That's free will.
I think right at that juncture, though, there's that, if there's a timeline as the baby who we say is innocent and is a victim of the parents not creating a secure attachment So the child doesn't know what to do. And then you say, you know, there's a split of like, it's going to either become empathetic and become, I guess they say,
The empath.
the empath, or the, what is it? A codependent, and, or go the full route of the narcissist. So there's like two different ways. And then,
Yeah, what's the codependent route?
Right, me too. But at the same time, my empathy kicks in and says, what if at the time that decision was going to be made of like, I'm going to try to heal myself or become a codependent, or I'm just going to become a full blown selfish prick.
Right.
What if there was like literally no way, like there's no one to help. There's no way that the codependent empathetic direction, that path was not opening up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that door,
Right.
like that door closed, and they literally became such a victim of this circumstance that they didn't even have that codependent empathetic door, which is also not totally healthy. It's a different kind of toxicity, but that door didn't even open, and they literally became a victim of like all kinds of like just obstacles in their path, and they had no choice but to go the narcissistic route. And then like they really literally are a complete victim of just life. And then they get hosted by demons, and it's just like, good God, this isn't fair. Like I think of all this, like my empathy is so great because of my INFP nature, and you also, Stephen, are INFP. And so I just think, you know, what if it really is that they couldn't make that choice. When we think about they're going to make this, well, maybe they couldn't even make the choice. They just like
I knew this woman years ago when I was working as a slot ambassador at Dover Downs, she was African. She came here with one brother because her entire family, other than her and her brother, had been murdered in her country. Right? You're talking about a savage nation or savage area, very tribalistic. They, you know, come into your fucking village and start murdering people. They don't care. When you're under those conditions, it's not the worst of humanity, but when you're under those conditions, you're right. Do they have no choice but to become what they are? This woman was the sweetest, dearest. She was a teacher in Washington, sweetest, dearest woman I ever knew, who had all this pain that she still carried from watching her mother, her father, her brothers, her sisters get murdered. You know, that's horrible for someone to go through as a child. She lives with those wounds and decided to be not a piece of shit, decided not to continue the pain, decided to be a better person. You know, so I understand what you're saying, most especially when you're talking about child trafficking victims. That's yeah. You know what I mean? That's satanic. That's horrible. But we should have empathy. You're right. Like, but that empathy extends only to who are you now? For me, who are you now?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I'm talking about that breaking point that happened at whatever, maybe teenage years. You know, now
young adulthood.
Now, I mean, they're literally, because we've seen the videos from even other content creators and Yaz as well. They know when they're lying because they can turn it on and they can turn it off, you know? And they know when they're behaving badly because they'll behave badly behind closed doors, but in public they'll behave good around people. So they are, as an adult, making decisions to hurt people.
Yeah.
That's not forgivable. That's just not forgivable. But my empathy goes back to the child, you know?
No, I know. Yeah, and I get that. I always have that in me too. But something that I was taught, someone said to me, I think Immortal Coil said it to me, you can love her, but do it from a distance. Like, you can love that inner child. You can love that person that was abused and put through what they were put through, but from a distance, because there's nothing you can do for them now. That was like the greatest thing Alex ever said to me. It really helped me get through some things. Roman or Deej, do you have any comments on the spirit? Do you have any spirituality, religious kind of view on this?
Well, I'll Deej, do you have something before I start blathering on?
No, I'm traumatized over how many times she said deliverance.
Okay.
Oh.
I kept hearing banjos and wanted to paddle faster.
So here, this is my perspective. This is my perspective alone. A choice is made at a certain point, and Stephen, I tend to agree with you on this because I don't want to use me, but I'm going to use me. I could be there.
Mhm.
I could be that.
Me too.
And she chose to be that. So, unfortunately, and Scott, I appreciate your emotional and empathetic nature. I don't have that. I don't. My heart is closed and cold on the creature. It is. I have zero emotional attachment to her, other than I hope she passes soon, which I know isn't the best perspective on that, but I'm okay with that because I don't want her damaging anybody else. Because she's still out there on number 6. She's like the black widow of husbands. Number 6. So she made a choice. She damaged so many people around her like a minefield of a lifetime, and ends up where she is, hopefully dead and alone. Which probably won't happen, but I'd like that to happen. And I know that's not the nice way to go with this, but I don't have empathy for her. She could have made a decision to go, you know what? I'm making some bad life choices here and I'm hurting people, but she didn't do that. She just kept on rolling, and the dead field is in her path. So that's my perspective on it. And I know everybody's gonna have a different perspective, and that's
Right.
good. It's good. In fact, we all shouldn't agree on this kind of thing, but that's how I feel about the one that impacted me. So anyway.
Thank you, brother. And I think what's something that Roman said is like dead on. Because if you're the child of a narcissist, you have the potential to be one, or any number of things: codependent, borderline, like antisocial, any of these things, depending on what you went through.
Yeah, they're all
Psychopath, yeah. And that one of the things that really got me during the smear campaigns was something that self-aware narcissists do, which is point the finger at you after they've abused you and whipped you up into a frenzy and go, "You're the narcissist." And so I had to go through that within me. I had to look. I had to go through the questionnaires. I had to go through the things. I had to look at it. I just, okay, how do I act? Because frankly, when I looked at those things, I checked off some of those boxes, and I did not like that. But I noticed that it was all when I was in a very highly emotional state, hyper emotional states, that I checked those things off. Which is why I'm very big on emotional control. One of the things that I teach a lot about. It is a choice. You can choose to be that or not. You can choose empathy. You can choose to take down that wall, take down that shell, and feel and look at yourself and take accountability and change your behaviors. But you always have that poison. When you said that, Roman, you always have that poison in you, because he's right. When you go through something traumatic, especially if you're like, it's like grooming, when you're groomed by an adult who has a condition or abuses you in a certain way. You always have that potential in you. That's where like learning how to control the beast within is very important. That prime, your toxicity, whatever it is inside of you. And it takes a lot of work, guys. So if any of you out there in the chat right now, like if you go through these relationships with these demons, and they want to spread their pain, they want to turn you into them. That's why we go into reactive abuse. That's why they whip us up into hysteria. Like this, it's a lot of the function of what they do is challenging the light in you, like challenging God's light inside of you.
Yep.
So when you feel like you have gone too far, you did accept it. But also understand that because you recognize that, you can internalize it, you can face that, you can change. You are not a narcissist. You are not. If you can look at yourself, first off, and ask that question, and secondly, if you could take accountability for what you've done and realize how you've affected others, that means you have a level of empathy. That means you are not narcissistic. Don't hold on to the baggage of reactive abuse. Don't hold on to that baggage. Forgive yourself is step one. The second step is make the changes. walk the walk, be the better person, curb those behaviors or get rid of them, you recognize them. That is when you make that apology to yourself count. So my love to y'all. Squeaker says, I don't need a narcissist. I don't need a narcissist to do that. I already think that I'm crazy, the crazy one, and I swear it's me. I'm the narc. LOL. Squeaker, you're too sweet to be the narc. You're too sweet. Just stop it. No, you are a woman on a healing journey, and you are a very powerful woman. You just as soon as you get through that healing, as soon as you get past what you need to and work on what you need to, you're going to find a reservoir of strength within you never knew you had. You're a beautiful bright light in the shining, beautiful bright light in the darkness of the world, sweetheart. Trust and believe. Trust and believe that. My love to you. Let's see. So you got all kinds of love out here. Hey, what's up, Nat? Good to see you.
Remember,
sweetheart.
Squeak, you get a little too out of line, we'll just throw you some cheese. It'll be okay.
Yeah, we know your weakness. What's up, Natalie? How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you again for being here over from Dragonstorm TikTok. Hail. Good to see you. Good to see the whole Dragonstorm community coming together over here. All right, we're going to go through one more video before we make our last assessment, and how the narcissist seeks to destroy you.
One of the things about a narcissist that you got to keep in mind is that a narcissist, when they're going to get that supply, they're also seeking to destroy you. And how do they try to destroy you? A lot of them will try to destroy you by getting you addicted to drugs, by getting you addicted to certain sexual things. You know, they may be into freaky things sexually, and they want to get you into freaky things sexually. They may be involved in criminal activity, and they want you to be involved in criminal activity. This is how they suck you in and they destroy you, because they are so corrupt, all right, that they're going to try to make you corrupt. They're going to try to destroy you because they're destroyed already. And a lot of them, that's why, you know, a lot of them, because they're addicted to certain things. They're addicted to substances like, you know, drugs, alcohol, you know, prostitution, whatever it could be. They're going to try to get you to be addicted as well. And this will destroy you, all right? This will destroy who you are, because they don't want you to be, you know, pure and ethical and have morals. They want to destroy your sense of self, because they have no sense of self.
Hey, I gotta disagree with her on something here.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with getting freaky.
I knew where this was going. I knew where it was going immediately.
Listen, do you want to put a Cash App out there? Like, are you selling? I know you lost your job.
No,
so, like, are you trying?
I quit the one job. I'm still on the farm though. I'm still making money. I'm still doing work. I'm just not working two jobs now.
I understand you're not at the bar shaking your ass for dollars, but like, are you still trying to make those dollar bill, y'all? Like, are you?
Well,
still...
yeah, I still need to fix that damn computer, but hey, I will do it in a legit way. I'm not going to shake my. Nobody wants to see an old 53-year-old dude with farmer's tan. Anyway.
You don't understand that there are plenty of ladies out here in the Dragonstorm community that may actually get off, you know, on a 50-year-old guy shaking his shit. All right, listen, I don't understand what you don't understand.
No, I'm the adult version of Chunk, man. Nobody wants to see the truffle shuffle.
Before, thank God for Deej, because I was actually going to bust into my own comedy bit. I was going to say, gentlemen, listen, there are some narcopaths out there that want to turn you gay. Don't let them put anything up your ass. They may get a strap on and want to stick it in you, but don't let them turn you into a rainbow dragon. All right, I am serious about this. Only male narcs put things up their ass, not you.
Don't make me drag out the rainbow unicorn outfit.
When it comes, listen. All right, I'm going to tell you a story. So there was a time when I was sitting in Narcopath's room, and she created a fight so that she could have an excuse to run out and go be with Rainbow Dragon, and there was a fight for like a half hour. I have to go. And then before she left, she throws some crystal meth on the table, and she says, I'm sorry, and kisses me on the forehead and leaves. Because narcissists want to get you addicted to drugs. They want to keep you addicted to sex, pornography, prostitution, drugs, whatever the case may be. And because she deals with her traumas through doing heavy drug use, she thought, let me get Steve hooked on this so that he will stay locked in trauma and that I could just pass off drugs, or we could do drugs together, or I can use drugs to make him feel better. The thing she didn't realize is I grew up, my parents used to, my first concert was at the Grateful Dead, 1989, JFK, all right? I have been around drug culture since I was a kid. I do not get addicted. Well, tobacco, one thing, but I do not get addicted to drugs. I don't do drugs when I'm unhappy, and I don't do drugs when I'm depressed, because that just leads you down a rabbit hole of wanting to die and kill you. I've seen people die from drugs. I don't use needles or certain things I've never done. And so, like, when I was in awe when that happened. I'm looking at the table like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, this is my apology to you. Here's some meth. I'm gonna go. You know, this is the mentality of the narcissist. That made everything okay. I'm gonna go blow somebody else, and I'm gonna have you. Here's my drugs. Here, you can do my drugs. It's passing on pain, guys. It's all about passing on pain. Roman, you were talking about, you know, you being alone as a child and alienated. I mean, in that vein of passing on pain. How do you feel about them trying to, you know, keep you in a space where you can't go anywhere, where you feel trapped?
And that's a tough one, especially when you're little. I mean, when you're little, it's impossible. You are trapped. There's not a lot you can do about that. The only thing you can do later on is break the cycle and cut it off, which is the best thing you can do. You know, even in a modern relationship or with a narc parent. And it's fun. And God, you look back. I look back at my childhood, the emptiness of my childhood, and that is a painful thing that I wouldn't wish on another kid. I'm grateful that my adulthood has been very different. My own children, while still ended up suffering in different ways from this relationship, which I can't go into in this forum. Overall had a normal, loving. Our house was always normal and loving. So, Mrs. of the Empire is the best. I do my best with it. But it is breaking that cycle, and it is different though and this is what I feel bad for. Like, people, one of my good friends, Stephen, we talked about, got sucked into this circle later in life, and nobody knew it was coming until it did. And then it was like, you know, WTH, you know, what's going on? Communication stops. And then there's nothing for years until then things start trickling through and you're like, oh my God. And then you understand further what's going on. It's like, oh no, this is, and you know, and to be honest, I didn't even recognize it as narcissism at first. I thought it was just abuse, which is a silly way to phrase things. Then you realize, oh, that's what this is. And as soon as you recognize what it is, everything from the moment of communication stopped to current becomes very clear. But man, it is hard to recognize in adult relationships off the bat, because we talked about it a little earlier. They put out the honeypot. They act the way they think a normal human is going to act. I say they act because they don't know how a normal human acts, because other things they do in their lives are completely not the way people do things. And everybody looks at them going, what are you doing? That's right. Not the way a person responds to that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Because you know what I'm talking about, Scott. It's just all cold and very vacuous.
Yeah. Where are you, man? Where are you? That's not normal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean
Scotty,
I know. I just totally understand that. I remember, like, you know how when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're supposed to know them. And if you say something, you have an expectation of how they might react because you know them. Or in a general sense, a person should react in an empathetic manner if something were to happen, but it's like not there. And like when you're waiting for the thing that you expect to come back to you, and then it doesn't happen, and you're like, and then what I would do is I would play the role of, like, I would say that's what the person's supposed to say.
Mhm.
Um, like if I were to just create a scenario, like if I were to do something nice for her, and then she doesn't really respond, and then I would look at her and go, "Thank you, Scott. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it." You know, I'm saying it. I'm like, I'm playing the role, and like I'm teaching her how to, like, she's a grown
human?
adult. And I'm teaching you how to respond like an adult.
Right.
And it's this like, who are you? Where are you? Do I know you?
Nope, there's nothing
Just-
there, man. There's nothing there. You're just waiting for the lizard tongue to come out and eat the fly because it's not there. That emotional connection, the normal reaction, for reasons I can't begin to guess, because they've seen it a million times. Even TV, they can't even learn from that because they've
Right.
seen families before on television. They know what a normal family structure should look like. They've seen it. Watch Happy Days, watch Friends, watch anything on television that has a family structure in it. And this, somehow that still doesn't translate in the narc brain to,
wait a minute.
I should act like this.
Not
Nope.
every family, because you don't want to sit there and pattern yourself after married with children.
I mean, if Kelly was my sister, I don't know if I'd be the same person I am today.
No, you'd be living down south somewhere playing banjos right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. Like Roman, it's and Scotty, it's you are not dealing, like I said earlier, you're not dealing with someone who feels and thinks like we do. That's what I tell my clients. You know, they echo these same things, and with wonder and amazement and depression and anxiety. And I'm like, you have to understand, you are expecting a human reaction from someone who does not think like a normal human. They are not wired the same way.
Right.
You know, and I try and be empathetic about it. You know, like Scott's approach when we were talking about, you know, the young person that went through trauma, or, you know, went through what they went through, and then who they became later in life. But, you know, in order for us to protect ourselves, you have to really, like, understand. Sometimes, like me, you got to bang your head up against the wall a freaking 100 times, you know, like trying to just break down that wall. That wall's not going to break down. That wall is a facade. That is a fake person. There is no amount of hurting yourself that is going to show that person and make them feel bad because they see you hurting yourself. The only thing a narcissist sees when you continually hurt yourself is, what an idiot. I have total control over them. I am God. I am the bestest ever. Look how much they're hurting themselves. Ha ha ha. That's what they're thinking. They're getting off on it. Evil does exist, brothers and sisters. It's called cluster B personality disorders. It is a thing. With the exception of borderlines who do feel empathy, but that's a whole other bag of shit. They could be anything, and they scare the fuck out of me. I talked to a couple BPDs, and I'm like, you scare the crap out of me. You know that, right? Like, I don't know who you're going to be tomorrow.
Okay, I just got myself in trouble with the chat.
What did you do?
What did you do,
that
Deej?
smack talk about the Southerners. I could have met South America. Could have met South
It's a
America.
joke,
folks.
folks. It's a joke.
That's
It's making a joke. What?
Deej, you have to understand.
Okay.
You don't piss the harem off. The harem will come after you, buddy.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. West Virginia.
Very
Oh, boy.
specific. Oddly specific, in fact.
Oddly, yeah. All right. So first off, I want to go through a couple comments here. Squeaka, you know, she comes out. She says, "It's so amazing listening to these streams. I always felt so alone in an absolute hell. I endured as a kid, but I wish I was alone because it hurts knowing that people I know hurt as littles." Oh, you're so empathetic, sweetheart. We're all together. We're all here standing with one another, and we no matter what our track has been through as we've gone through life, whether we grew up with narcissistic parents or we went through a narcissistic relationship, psychopaths, sociopaths, I mean, they're out there too. You know, narcissism can exist in all of these realms. You know, we are together, shield to shield on the battlefield of life, looking out for one another. And we appreciate you and every single person in this chat. I love the, like I said this plenty of times, Squeak, if it wasn't for people like you, people in this chat, I don't know if I would have healed the way I did. I don't know if I would be who I am today. And it's because of your strength and everyone else in the chat that I have, and people on the panels, that has given me the resilience that I have, that has like helped me to become the best version of myself. And that's our goal, Squeaka. So thank you very much for being here, being so empathetic and loving, and greatly love you. Thank you to Ruth, and thank you to Harry out there with the middle finger. He loves Deej. Harry, you have a new fan. I mean, Deej, you have a new fan. Zero Gift says they don't want you to feel good because they don't care about you. Somebody who cares about you does not want you to be in pain. Absolutely. Absolutely, Zero Gifts. And that's the measure of it.
My narcissist couldn't even take time off of her ladies' night out when I had my heart attack.
Jeez. Well, that's an inconvenience, Deej. That's it. If you're sick, that's an inconvenience for them. They can't put attention into you. They can't take care of you. They've got to go out with the girls. They've got something they've got to do. A person I'm talking to right now is the wife is a narcissist of her brother. Her brother literally was fighting cancer, was, stage, I forget what stage it was, but went through chemo and beat it. And now the wife wants to have a party with all their new friends. Nobody that was there, none of the family members helped take care of them, but all the new friends that she made while he was going through that, because it's about her. It's all about her. She, this is when you get sick, a narcissist.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic narcissism. All about them. They're the center of the universe. What you go through doesn't matter. That's a damn shame, Deej. I'm sorry that you went through that, brother.
I didn't, because I didn't have to put up with her trying to be the center of the attention while I was laying there. So,
you look at the positives. You look at the positives in every situation, Deej. I appreciate your resilience, brother. You're a freaking tank. You are a tank, dude. So let's see. Natalie says, I can't wait to get on the other side of this. You will, sweetheart. You absolutely will. Like one of my clients right there. And you just have to stay the course, stay no contact, put the wall up. Just Roman, please give her some advice. She's leaving a narcissist. She's going no contact.
Now, and here's the deal. One, just get rid of every urge to ever speak to this person. And I know that sounds hard, but once you start doing it, it gets easier to do. And also, literally make sure you find all your social media entry points, close them. Make sure there is no way they can get to you. You can't do much about the mail. That is what it is. But as far as like all the electronic stuff, you can shut that stuff down. I've done it. I've done it for 10 years. So you can do it. And just make sure you block them on your phone, all the stuff. Just go through all those steps. And once you don't hear from them for a few days, a week, a month, you are going to feel better that you're not hearing from them. So that's what I can offer you.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you. Scotty, is there any advice you could give Natalie? You there, Scott? Did you freeze on us? That's a beautiful pose. I want to get a screenshot of that.
That is nice.
She's actually
That's
frozen.
like Mount Rushmore. That looks really good.
It is. Yeah. It's
Very
like,
noble.
I don't know.
Oh, no, Scotty's gone. Oh, no.
Damn it. Natalie, you got this, sweetheart. Thank you for being here, part of the Dragonstorm community. He still looks.
The
he's not
pose is
frozen
over.
anymore. I know.
Pose is
I know.
over. Damn it.
One of us.
So, Scotty, do you have any advice for Natalie? She's going through no contact now. She's going through leaving her narcissist.
You cannot heal in the environment that hurt you. So no contact is key. And you can't play games with that. You can't tell yourself that, you could it's best if at all possible, just it's 100% you're out, because it's very hard to manage low contact or gray rock or anything like that. If you can go completely no contact and just move on, then do that. And it's not to hurt them, it's not to punish them, it's for yourself to heal. Because if you're in a burning house, you know, you gotta get down, because the smoke's gonna rise and fill up the house, and you're gonna fill up your lungs. So you got to get down first, and then you got to crawl and get out of the house. And that's, you know, you might be crawling over broken glass, or it's going to hurt to get out. It's going to hurt, but eventually you get out, and then you get some fresh air, and then eventually that becomes a distant memory. But it's not a fun process. It's not a fun process. We've been through it. And, I mean, you're always going to have the memories, and it never goes away. Like, you know, the rumination of this trauma is there. That's why we're talking about it. We've all been through like stuff that passes, but this narcissistic thing, it's like we're in healing groups, we're in the community, because it doesn't go away. It's like this thing that literally, it's like it put a notch in us. It literally took a chunk out of us. Unlike other little traumas that we've had all throughout our life, we all go through this stuff, but this is like serious. And when you're in it, trying to get out, just stay the course, and try to, you know, plan your way to make sure that you don't have contact with this person, because they're literally going to I don't mean to be, you know, morbid, but they want to kill you. They want to see you destroyed, you know, and they'll do it with a smile on their face while trying to keep a sexual relationship going. But literally in their heart, they want you dead. And you have to think about that. That's not over the top. It's not. They would love to see that. And it's sick. And if you think of it that way, then it gives you a little bit more of an incentive to get the heck out of the relationship. I don't know if anything I said is going to stick.
No. It's beautiful. Actually, Natalie said I could open up a little bit about her, what she's going through. I actually want to share this, Nat, if that's all right. Natalie is, she was a successful gem store owner. She's a spiritualist. She does Reiki. She does things like that. She's a very open person. And the narcissist was a spiritual narcissist in that spiritual community, and came along and worked with her to take her momentum, her subscribers, her people, started advertising along with her from her store, then turned on her, and then ruined her reputation while taking her subs, her followers, and while still claiming to be a spiritual person. So, I mean, I know you don't want to go into that, but it's very relative to situations that have happened around us.
Freaking vampire.
Yes. Right. And now this dude is out there smear campaigning and using some of her former audience and her former people as a way to smear campaign her as flying monkeys. And she's having to rebuild her company.
The same things happen to me on YouTube with people who come into your life and they have a YouTube channel, and they always have less subscribers than you. And they come in and they want to be your best friend for a little while, and they hope that you will announce them on your channel and tell your people, your friends, your subscribers, hey, I've got this other guy. He talks about the same kind of things I do, and you go subscribe to him. And then a couple of years go by, and everybody knows that you know each other, and they're in the community with you, and you didn't know who they were. They kind of got in by love bombing you and acting like they're all involved or interested in the same thing that you're interested in. And then it turns out that the whole thing was a vampire situation, because after you tell people to go subscribe, then they will turn on you, and all the people that subscribed will start hearing a lot of, bad things about you, that it's a smear campaign. And then all of a sudden, so what happens is, like, you give them your subscribers, and then they burn you, and then they unsubscribe from you. So literally they took your subscribers, and and so you lose and they win, because narcissists, that's what they do. They set up situations where they win and you lose. It's not win-win. Whereas normally two people, like two creators, will get together and say, hey, let's share subscribers and both win. And you don't see it coming. They're going to take your subscribers. You're not going to get anything from them. and then they're going to burn you on your channel, but your subscribers that are, that you share will then see the smear campaign, and then they'll unsubscribe from you because now they're seeing something that they don't like. And then you lose.
But you know what I say, Scotty, though, is anybody who wants to believe lies about you want to believe them in the first place. And there's also the thing that anybody that can be fooled by a narcissist can be, like we were. We were fooled by con artists and liars. Natalie also wanted to say there's a court case and restraining order right now. Hers was a malignant, sociopathic, violent narcissist. She was able to escape that situation. She said, yeah, he turned violent when I tried to leave when I was done. So, I mean, ladies, that's what they do. Watch out when you are ready to be done with these people. You don't want to be under their control. You are ready to escape. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, plan that stuff out though. You know when they're not going to be home, at least ideally you do. Plan it around that and make sure you have somewhere else to be, because you don't want to be anywhere that they can be. So you want to do this. You know it's coming. You can set this up weeks in advance so that you have a safe haven, so that you're not never be at the nexus point when this happens, because they are going to blow up, because that's what it just is. That's what happens. So, and that wasn't me. I just know other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for the love of God, please plan it out, because you obviously, if you're putting in documents to do this stuff, you're planning it out. Plan to be somewhere else when this happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've heard stories, like thankfully Natalie is states away at this point, but she has an upcoming court case. And, for those of you who, when it comes to legalities to protect yourself, from an abusive narcissist, there is the traumatization of seeing that person again, the fear of maybe, you losing the court case, and at the end of the day, first off, you're holding a narc accountable. They do not want to be held accountable. And putting your foot down and standing up for yourself, in my opinion, is going to help you in the long run, because that narcissist does not want you to do that. They do not want to be held accountable. They do not want their victims standing up and being strong. So whatever you decide to do, Natalie, like I told you, I'm behind you, honey. Whatever it is you decide to do. Mallory says it feels like death. Feels like death when you're leaving them, but you will live again. Absolutely, Mel. There you go, Mel, shouting out that strength. That's my girl. Feels like death with them. It feels like death when leaving them, but you will live again. Absolutely, sweetheart. Absolutely. So before we continue on, I want to look at and give a review from everybody. Deej, I know this is the first time you've seen Yaz, the Game Exposed. What did you think of her messaging and content?
She's got some good points. She's got good content there. She makes a lot of sense, except for the freaky bit. I still gonna disagree with her on that one.
That's because you're a hoe.
Die on that hill. I would die on that hill, damn it. But overall, if you're having these issues in life, I would go check her out and listen to what she's got to say.
Thank you, Deej. Roman, what did you think of the Game Exposed?
No, I thought that was really good. I thought all this stuff was solid. Like I said, some of it in my own world is no longer applicable for a myriad of reasons, but the ideas that are there are very sound. Her delivery is nice. She speaks very well. So yeah, that's a go-to.
Thank you, Roman. Scott, what do you think of Yaz?
I like Yaz. I mean, I know of a lot more that she's done than just what we've done tonight.
Me too.
She also does a podcast where it's long form of her talking for a while, and she's got good points. And sometimes I almost have a hard time. She uploads fairly consistently, and it's like her head is in it all the time. Whereas me, I have to take a break from the narcissist stuff, and so that's why I get into my Bible studies. But because I can't hang out in narcissism all the time, because it's like I'm just too sensitive. But she's very consistent with what she does, and she's good at it, and she knows a lot of details about a lot of different things that I haven't even thought about. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, she's in it.
Yeah,
she's got that East Coast tough thing, like she's from Jersey or something. She's talking like this over here.
Yeah, she's a tough girl. That's a narc slayer right there, y'all. Guys, there is a link tree for the game exposed in the description. Also should be pinned in the chat. Please check her out if you have not already. A lot of fans of hers in my chat. I'm glad to see that. She was someone that helped me on my healing journey. Very important and instrumental fire that she lit in Dragonstorm. And to be fair, people like We've Told Me, Coach Randy White, these are the people that I kind of grafted into who I am and how I present myself and kind of the direction that I take narcissistic abuse content. So I greatly appreciate if you guys would give her a shot. She has a YouTube channel as well. Thank you to Yaz for everything that she has done and all the people she has helped. And if you guys are interested in coaching, I do believe she does that. Please check her out for that. Very knowledgeable, loving, and wonderful hero in the narcissistic abuse recovery community. And with that, we're going to go around the panel and let everybody do their outros. First up is the pimp, the hoe, the pink bunny himself, DJ Odyssey.
I'm just Deej. I'm not doing too much lately because life, but soon I will start uploading more stuff as I'm out in the farm, stuck in a tractor, all by myself all day long. There you go. Oh, you can
All
find
right,
me over on over at the Rogues too on Saturday nights when I'm home too, abusing Walton left and right.
You're not going to take over, Deej. You're not taking my spot.
I've already planned it out.
Next up is fellow rogue, Roman of the Empire. Tell them where they can find you, brother.
All right, one, Squeaka, contact Steven, like, immediately, please. And, God, am I blurry? I feel like I'm blurry. I am blurry. Oh, my God, my life. Anyway, you can find me over at Roman of the Empire every Thursday at 5 Pacific Standard. We do shows every single week. This week coming up, we're going to be reviewing Wolfen, 1981 movie about big freaking wolves in an urban area. It's a
new era of business.
What the hell?
What was that? What's happening?
What was that?
Who did that? Who did that?
I've got a book over on Booksy called Failures of the Fallen. Go check it out. It's free. Yay, free. And that's kind of it. I've got stuff coming up every week over on the channel, but we're live every Thursday at 5 Pacific Standard. So please come join us. Be one of us. So thank you, Stephen, for having me this week or today.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, brother. Do you have a wrench? If you do not, well, hold on. Sorry. Say something in the chat. I'll give you a wrench. Put links for your stuff in the chat for me. All right. Thank you.
Right
and
on.
next up is just say something and I'll wrench you. Scotty, you sexy man. That facial hair. I'm getting a little jealous. You look really good right now. I'm not saying I swing that way. I'm just saying you look good. Tell them where they can find you, my brother.
I just put a link in the chat. It says "Get Out, Stay Out, No Contact." That's my narcissism channel, and I just put a link to my Energy Vampire song. It's a song about what we're talking about. These people who just
Scotty, I heard that song. It's a good song. I did. I listened to that. I did. I checked. I just listened to that.
Thank you. I'm waiting for Steve to use it and play it on the show.
Okay. Oh, well, now I have permission. I will use it.
Yeah. It's been great.
So,
yeah, it's great too.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm looking back at the chat. Squeaka, get up with me. If you want to get up with me, get up with me on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Let's talk. Let's get up and have a conversation, honey. Okay? One-on-one. Thank you guys so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you to Yaz, the Game Exposed, not only for being a narcissistic abuse recovery hero, but also helping me on my healing journey. I greatly thank you for that. And all the people that you have helped. Thank you to everybody in the chat, my wonderful survivors and thrivers out there, looking out for each other, being good to each other. This is what we do. This is how we are. We are going to rise together. Thank you to all of the veterans out there who have been through this situation with a narcissist and have come out the other side and still continue to come back and interact with the community to impart your strength, your knowledge, your wisdom. It is so much appreciated. And every person who's going through a no contact situation, if you are still with the narcissist and you're trying to create an exit plan, whatever the case may be, you will get out of this. You are a shining bright light in the darkness of the world. See, that narcissist knew that, and what bright lights attract moths. That energy vampire was attracted to you because of your strength, because of your resilience, because you are an empathetic, compassionate, good person. There are lessons you had to learn in life. There are boundaries you had to create. There were things that you had to know about yourself. You take that narcissist who was your trash collector, understand, and collected every fake friend, liar, and deviant person in your life and collected them together as their flying monkeys for the smear campaigns. They got rid of the trash in your life for you. Now is your time to heal. Now is your time to introspect, do the shadow work, figure out what it was in you that allowed yourself to be susceptible to the manipulations of a hoovering hobgoblin, and then become the best, the strongest, the most wonderful version of yourself that you have ever been. This is the track that you are on. You are on a spiritual awakening. You are on a path of betterment. Take this loss and turn it into a win. My love to y'all. I am Lodonis, Ravenwolf, Dragonstorm, Ysir, and Sage. Hail to my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Please remember to wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. My love to y'all.
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat.
Seriously, if anybody wants to hire Deej for ass, he is available. His Cash App will be in the description.
I don't have